last 2.5 years, I've been doing 3 or 4 Zoom visits a week. I mean, I've been very fortunate. I fly out somewhere every day through that internet. I get on the internet and I fly out somewhere every day. I was in Alaska yesterday. I was in Arizona. I got to go to Mississippi. I'm going back to Mississippi first of the week, and I'm in North Carolina today. You know, I could have walked to y'all. So I said, I'm not going to let this die. We have been talking for so many years about change in Rotary and flexibility and doing new things. And I already look at the organization in the Secretariat. I don't know if you realize it or not, but worldwide, Rotary and the Foundation have over 700 employees. 525 or 30 of them are in Evanston, Illinois. Well, long before we were talking about a shutdown, the General Secretary did a test to have everybody stay home and work from home. You may have noticed a little glitch or two, but I don't think you mentioned one. All of our staff, 2 weeks before Chicago shut down, had already sheltered in place and working at home. It started as a test to see if we had the bandwidth to do it. In the process, though, we have saved millions of dollars in this situation. That's just a tip of the iceberg to how aggressive and progressive our foundation and Rotary International staff are addressing this, of how we move forward. Now, the board of directors and the committees of the international committees, we immediately had a virtual board of directors meeting. This last week, we had 11 hours worth, during the course of a week, we had 11 hours of board meeting. And it was a non-event for us, because for the last 2 years, when we walk in the boardroom, we take our headsets and we put them in our ear and we plug them into our system. Because there's, this year behind me in the boardroom, in the real boardroom, there's 6 panels up there, and they have 12 interpreters in it, 2 in each language. And we're interpreting 6 languages formally, plus English. That does not count Scottish and Southern Drawl, but official languages of Rotary. The board meetings happen in 7 languages. So when we sat down virtually this week, it was a non-event for us. The interpreters were on the phone with the director that couldn't speak English, and he was interpreting for us. It's a whole new way that you all are experiencing right here. We've got to come out of Rotary on the back end of this, not just safe from the storm, but a new and better ship that we remodeled and we overhauled while we were in the eye of the storm to come out the back side. And I'm going to several meetings every day. If you need me, I'm going to be there, unless it's conflicts with some. One day I actually squeezed in 3 between 11 and 1. They worked with me and we got it. I don't have anything special to say other than y'all rock. Y'all rock. You are the ones connected here today. And I want you to think seriously. I know Tiffany's been preaching it. Isaac preached it. Think out of the box. Try new stuff. I was so proud of my little Rotary Club of 40 people last week. They asked me if I would, because we use my Zoom account every week. They said, would you mind hosting our board meeting? And I said, yeah, but I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I'll just turn everything off. They said, no, sit in. So I didn't say anything, but I did listen in. And they've already decided how we're going through that storm. We don't have a club president next year in my little 40-member club. We do not have a president. We have a presidential crew. We have 4 presidents next year. And from a technical standpoint, they'd already decided this before the storm came. They would each preside a quarter, but they would work together on everything and really breathe more life into our club than we already have, because we are the active club in our county out of 3. The mothership is 150 members, and their lights are out right now, even when we try to get them come in. But our little club's thriving. And so I listened to them, and they started talking about, how are we going to do this going forward? And I just wanted to jump on there and give them an air hug, because what they've decided, my little club, well, it's not my little club, you know what I mean, our little club, not mine, our little club. I can make sentences without me, myself, and I. Our little club, when we would meet virtually every week, we had the Deputy General Secretary of Rotary already. We've got President Barry coming, past President past President Barry coming, President Mark coming. There's all kinds of opportunities for speakers out there that make good programs for you and actually make some sense as opposed to me. But my little club said, when we come out of this and we can meet, when we can really hug each other again, first Tuesday, we'll meet in the place where we meet. Second Tuesday, we'll have a cocktail party at some pub around town in the evening. Third week, we'll Zoom. And the fourth week, we'll all be out doing a service project together. That way we know we got one in. I just thought, I'm bragging on them, I guess, but I just thought it was a good example of thinking out of the box, looking out of the box. They also implemented a buddy system in our club. So I have a buddy, a member of my club, and I call them every week. They call me every week. We make sure we're connecting with the members of our club. And earlier when I was on, I said, we got on this rant last night with the 4 presidential crew and me, and we were texting these texts that were like 3 miles long. But that's healthy. Reach out to your fellow members. You know, Tiffany needs a blow down every now and then. Call your governor. Call past Governor Isaac. You got your governor-elect and nominee on here. They got stress too that they're dealing with. Call them. Take them into your circle of friends. Keep the faith alive. Polio Plus. Right now, I'm sure you have probably seen, but right now we're down to Afghanistan and Pakistan, and right now we're having to go on hold. We're not giving up the ship. We're not walking away from it. Pakistan and Afghanistan have now said that they're on board. They're going with us. The Taliban has said, we're ready to work with you on this. We have a new Rotary International trustee from that area that is the one, if you heard Barry's story, he said he wanted to meet with him. They came, covered his head up one night with guns in their hands. They took him in his car, and when they took it off, he was in front of the Taliban. They took him, he talked, and they took him back home. We will do this. It'll take a little bit longer than we thought it would because of this coronavirus 19. But here's the really cool part about Rotary and the Rotary Foundation's Polio Plus effort. In polio now, whatever you want to call it, we still got to give to it. But the really cool part is that scientists and health authorities all over this planet are fighting the Corona-19 with the platform and the framework that we as Rotarians put together with the World Health Organization, with UNICEF, with CDC. Apple and Google came out with this electronic tracking thing that they say they can do with the platforms. That's electronic. The manual stuff that's going on now all over this planet is Rotary-based, folks. And y'all need to be talking with people about that. This organization has got a strong background because of that. Let's talk financially for a minute. The Rotary annual budget is about $120 million to run the Rotary International and the Rotary Foundation. We have about $3.5 billion in assets between Rotary and the Rotary Foundation. We're talking about Rotary's cash, operating cash and its investments. We're talking about the annual fund of the Rotary Foundation. We talk about the Polio Plus Fund, and then the permanent fund is now over $1 billion, headed to $2.025 billion just in that. In our finances with RI, we have about $67 to $70 million of reserves, funds that are earmarked for reserves in case there was a financial hardship, we could weather a storm. Because of the way things have changed, the cancellation of staff travel, cancellation of volunteer travel, no paper going out of headquarters, no stamps, you get the general idea. We will have about an $8 million surplus this year at the end of fiscal year on 30 June. So that will give us about $78 million. We don't know what we're going to come out of the backside of this looking like as an organization. I can tell you that other service organizations are faring way bad because they're like the other club in my town. They're lights out. Their leadership said, no meetings till further notice, and people are not going to come back when you don't have them engaged. It's going to be hard to take 1.2 million people and ride the ship through the storm and come out the other side unless we engage them. And I'm so excited that you all, Tiffany and all of your members here, the 27 of you, are doing that. and I'm hoping you're taking it back to your clubs to get your club engaged. So let's say we lost 10%. Let's say we lost 10%, 120,000 members. That's $3.4 million in revenue loss. I'm talking to you as the treasurer now, okay? The bean counter part of me. Let's say we lost 20%. That's how much? $6.4 million of lost revenue. Okay, that doesn't even eat up the excess that we have this year. So I say all that to put it in numbers terms, to bore you a little bit, but more important, to reassure you that Rotary International as a mothership, as the overlying organizational structure, is here for you. It is here for you, and it is way sound financially, ultra sound. Now, this year, as Tiffany mentioned, I'm a treasurer, so I sit on the finance committee. Had the fortunate honor last year to be the first-year director that sat on the finance committee. It doesn't happen a lot that a director gets to sit on that 2 years, but I got to see a lot of the inner workings of the Rotary Foundation. And 3 years ago, we took all of our investment arm, the $3 billion now that I mentioned, and we brought it internally, and we have an internal on-staff investment manager now. And at the time, me coming on the finance committee, we passed an investment strategy that I don't know, I just wasn't really excited about it because it was so conservative. I was like, we got it on the short-term funds, we need to take a little more risk. I was a banker for 32 years and didn't manage $1 billion fund, but I managed a $500 million, $500 million fund. And so I thought it was a little conservative. Boy, you know what? I'm glad I was wrong. Because as of today, our investment fund, well, I hadn't checked today. As of yesterday, our investment fund still is not in return. It's still not in the red. Still not in the red. It's not up where we budgeted it, but it is not a negative number today. You know, a couple of weeks ago, crude oil was selling. I told Kim we needed to buy about 30 ships full of crude oil because they were going to pay us to take it. We're not there. We're in good shape. And in our zones, we're seeing some pretty strong, pretty incredible stuff going on. As Tiffany mentioned, I represent all of Rotary, but my defined area as a director is from Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, all the way down through the Southeast, into the Caribbean, all of the English and French Caribbean, and 3 countries in South America, on the northeast coast of South America. But I'm seeing some pretty cool stuff going on. One district really close to you is giving $1,000 to, I'm gonna put Tiffany on the block here. That governor had the money, and they have given $1,000 to every club in the district if they'll match it with $1,000 for COVID. We started last year, my first year as a sole director in the zones, the 10 million meal challenge of ending hunger now in our southeastern United States and sister islands. We passed that last year. I'm seeing so much going on in the area of COVID-related food work. I'm seeing Meals of Hope, Rise Against Hunger. That organization internally is packing meals every day. I've not seen any reset clubs doing that because of the situation, but I am seeing clubs all over this Southeast taking food to food banks, packaging meals to go to the hospital so that the staff has a lunch. And I honor you for that, and I congratulate you on that. Take that back to your clubs, and that's something that you can do to get involved and get your club engaged. I'm not telling you to get out, okay? But if you do get out, be safe, wear your mask, all that kind of stuff. Rotary as a mothership has had a lot of requests about it to take some formal action, but what works in North Carolina, it's not what necessarily works in Georgia, probably would, but it's certainly probably not what's going to work in India. So overall organizational things that are all encompassing, we have to be careful with. But on May the 2nd, Rotary is hosting a 1-hour live telethon with a goal to raise at least $1 million for COVID-19 relief around the world. I think it's going to be a lot more than $1 million raised personally, but that's our goal. The Rotary Foundation has already put out millions of dollars there for $25,000 grants. Unfortunately, there's a limit how much we can put out from the foundation, and direct there, and the funds went really fast. Within a few hours, the grants were, after it was announced, the funds went. But we are working there. Our theme this year is Rotary Connects the World. Tiffany's added to it, I think, Southern Fried Rotary, and I like that. That's cute. Wow, it does. It really does. President Mark and the board, long before we started the July service term, was saying we need to grow Rotary. We need to grow Rotary in new and different ways. We need to charter new clubs. His emphasis was chartering new clubs, but the overall thing was we need to grow Rotary. We need to grow it in new ways. We need to get out of the box. I've always said, get out of the box. Stay out of the box as much as you can. Don't throw the box away in case it doesn't work and you have to crawl in, but get out of the box. I've lived my whole life like that. That's why I'm here today. I can tell you without a reservation that President Mark had no earthly idea just how appropriate his words were. Try new things, get out of the box, grow Rotary in new and different ways. I'm going to Rotary clubs nearly every week where I'm inducting 3 or 4 new members via Zoom. People are joining my little club in Hall County because they're hearing in the community. We came out of Shoot First. We did a contribution to our level 1 trauma center to buy medical makeup kit type things. The masks that the people are wearing, they have to wear them all day and they're getting chafed. So the number 2 in the hospital is in our club. She said, if you want to do something, get us these little packs. And so we gave like thousands of those to the hospital and challenged all the other organizations. And now we're having people come to people that they know we're members or see us on Facebook and connect, just say, I want to come to your meeting. I want to be a part of people that are doing stuff like this, that are helping people even in this time. Winston Churchill said, it would be a shame to waste a good crisis. And that's what I'm challenging you to do. Don't waste that crisis, because Rotary connects the world. Last year, Barry said, Rotary, be the inspiration. This year, it's Rotary connects the world. Next year, Holger's theme is Rotary opens opportunities. What a combination. Be the inspiration, connect the world, and open those opportunities. It's great to be with you today. Great to be in the South. Home folks. Home folks, that's the phrase we hadn't used today. Just try to think out of the box. Everybody just brainstorm. Just say, how can I do this? And talk with your members. Get your members on the telephone. Be the change agent in your club.
We are trying to keep that variety going, as David mentioned. So when you see those little pictures come up with the information, share it on your social media, because we have some folks today from other districts who have joined us, and we do have great speakers, and it's a great opportunity for you to network those first 10 or 15 minutes as well with people from other parts of the world, because that's what we're doing, right? We are connecting the world. And so I just want to say a special thank you to all of you who tuned in today.